Welcome. This is the Post-Secondary Transition Podcast. We have conversations around the ins and outs and everything in between of the transition process for families of students with disabilities. I'm one of the hosts. My name is Meghan Smallwood, and I am a public school transition coordinator. And my co-host is...
And I'm Patrick Cadigan, and I am also a public school transition coordinator. All right, here we go. You'll remember from last week that we had the pleasure to sit down with Donna and Bayo from the Difference 2-17, and we want to get right back to that conversation, already in progress. One question that I have, and in a way, it's almost like we're going to change lanes for a second, but I am fascinated by the business side of this in the sense that you decide that you want to create a community, you want to create a safe space for individuals, but that's not necessarily something that has been done. So what were some of the steps that you had to take to get there?
Wow, that's a great question. So we started it, Patrick, with $1,400 in our bank account. So we opened this little bank account. We didn't really think about a liaison with anybody else. We just thought that perhaps through private money, private donations, or whatever it could be, that we could run a program. And then we discovered through talking to parents that they had budgets through the Department of Disabilities in Maryland, and that they wanted to use their funding for our program, but for self-directed services. And so what we did was we contacted DDA and became a vendor for self-directed services. So most of the people that we serve are funded, we are not, but they are funded through self-directed services, which is government waiver.
Yes, arm of DDA. So.
And I know I alluded to this before, but the 2-17, I want to throw that in there. What does that stand for?
Yeah, that's Alexander, my son's birthday. So he was born on February 17th, 1988. And it was important to, without Alexander, we would not be where we are. We wouldn't have the people that surround us. So I think it was very important for me to attach that name. And it was very important to Bayo that his name was attached, so that legacy, it really does have meaning. And when I'm no longer associated in one way or another through a retirement, Bayo continues that legacy. And 217 is on all of our documents and paperwork. And I think it gives Alexander a voice, because, they say that without a voice, you are powerless. And that is a very poignant and strong commitment that we have to our members, that even though some of them do not have a voice, that we give them that voice. And I think that the 217 is his voice.
I love that personal touch. I think it just speaks to the values of you guys, and just the family feelings. Like, the relationships are just so important. It's just not another client coming in. They are individuals that you really are taking the time to get to know. And the whole process of things, and as you guys have grown, and you've grown a lot over the last year or so. I mean, Bayo, you mentioned about your the social media before. I love looking at the Facebook pictures and just seeing the variety of pictures and the places, and just all the happy faces. They all truly are living their best lives.
We get from parents all the time, like the kind of lifestyle you get at a Difference. I
And they
want to
join.
be here. I want to leave my job and come in. And it starts from the moment, like I get this from parents. Oh my goodness, where did you get these drivers from? They come into my house and, big hugs and a big smile to the members. Or they went to the center, they walked in, is with hugs and friendship. They ask about one another, like, hey, where is this person? They always at his job. I was having a meeting, one of the members, he has his government typical meeting, And he was talking to the person. Well, some of the guys are gone already. They went on a trip. Some people went to the job, they're volunteering. I was just staying around because I'm waiting for you. Oh my God, did I hold you up? He says, yes, but it's okay. So that's the beauty of the difference. It's like, no matter how big we are or what location we are, we call it a starting point and an end point. Sometimes for some members, we have members that don't even step their foot in the building. We meet straight up from work or from their volunteer places, or a staff goes straight from their house and take them to their gym or something, for instance. So it's always a place that you come in, pick. It's like an alley menu, right? Picking a shift. Okay, this morning I would like to have a yoga, and I'm going to want to go to the movies. I want to volunteer at that place, and I'm going to go to my job in the afternoon. And they literally just sell out their days, and boom, they go with their staff. And the beauty of that is they still have that relationship and that friendship, but they're still able to run an individual life. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, one of the things that is so important to us is everybody to have a voice of the L, not to follow crowd, because we know our guys are people pleaser. Sometimes they tend to make everybody happy or make their parent happy. We always say, no, we want you to be happy. We want you to walk in here knowing that this is my heavenly space. Yeah. And we get members that don't want to go home.
And I think it's attributed to the growth because word has come from various fractions of Maryland to say, when are you going to be in Potomac? When are you coming to Annapolis? When are you coming to, different places? And the beauty is that in that growth, the vision is that we do expand and give the entire state of Maryland opportunities. But the growth is also, for us to expand into other avenues for people with not just jobs, but housing. Housing is a huge problem for people that have autism and disabilities in general, as you know. So our vision goes into Maryland a little bit further, but also to bring housing into the forefront because it is so lacking. So we're not quite sure how housing is going to be tied to the difference at this particular point in time, but we would like it to be a part of what we do.
That's great to hear, because that is a topic I hear a lot of families talking about.
We recently, and I forget specifically who it was, but I want to say that there was a conversation that there was a group of transition coordinators and housing came up more than a few times.
Yeah, and I know a couple families that as they approach 21, they are thinking about it. And the thought process they have is, well, I'm just going to find a program that has that to offer as well. And while that's easy, I think it would be nice if you didn't have to worry like, okay, well, this suits for the day, so might as well just do the residential. You want to make sure it's a good match in all areas. So
yes, you do. And depending on someone's socioeconomic situation, group homes are, in my opinion, are less than favorable for a person that has great needs, because oftentimes their voices are not heard and their quote unquote behaviors come out of a need to have their voices heard. And so behaviorally, I would say it's not the best situation for many people. And then if you're looking for an apartment or to share an apartment in self-directed services, you have to fit the bill for that. So that can be very, very expensive. So you really want to find a roommate that matches your son or your daughter's personality. And it's not always easy to find. Yeah. So I just think the whole housing fraction for people who self-direct their programs is a very complicated one on different levels.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
One question that I have in speaking to something that the both of you had mentioned before, when it comes to this outward expansion, this growth, especially when there is such a need for it. However, from the business side of things, how do you make sure that the experience stays authentic?
Well, it's very important. And I think that question is a very, very important question. I would say for me that in interviewing staff and making sure that the staff are not just equipped with the tools that they're going to be required to use on many different levels, from behaviorally to safety and every other way, is that people understand that you're not coming to work for an organization that is a cookie cutter organization. You're coming to an organization that has and places huge expectations upon you in order to work with us. So a person has to be extremely motivated, very trustworthy, and we really see them with our own eyes work with a member for many, many months before we completely invest in that person. Mm. So our goal is not to have many, many members. It's to have enough quality trained staff members that can continue our legacy, continue that standard to one that is satisfactory to us.
Yes. So we have our own in-house quality control. Pretty much that's what she's telling us. So it's so important to us, like to say, every single member's experience, not their lifestyle now. They get to pick and choose what they want, but the experience of the difference, no matter what location they go, stays the same. Treated with respect, given opportunity to develop and to learn, to teach, to be part of a community, to have a great friendship and family. All those costs stay the same. So one of the things we do is like our leadership comes from within. Every single person, when they walk in, we literally walk with staff, preparing them for the next road ahead. Every single staff walking through the door. They have to come in earlier than the member shows up. They stay later than the member shows up. I can't count many times where we are more overstaffed in the real world, but to the difference, it's never been about money. It's always been about the service and the quality of that service. So what Vital has given us over the time is we've been able to breed, like I use the word breed, staffs way ahead of their time. So they are kind of waiting for that opportunity to jump on their own ship. Like, for instance, the young lady that is running the Ellicott City Center, she's been preparing for a manager job for almost a year. She was in Westminster, was in Frederick location, come to Mount Oriole location, so they get a chance to have the experience and keep the experience the same and unique before they actually get out. And two, she didn't go by herself. She went with veteran staff. We didn't start with a bunch of brand new members. So the members from one location go to the other place. So every extended location becomes almost like the same thing because the members are moving, the staffs are moving, they get used to that environment before new member comes in and they bring in new staff. I said, even to the personal support side, we start training staff when we don't even get paid for that member that they're going to work with. Because what is important to us is to teach them the culture, how to treat somebody, how to respect somebody, how to work with them in an home setting, or how to work with them in the community. Because we always say, there is no babysitting at a difference. There is no doing it for you at a difference. Your job is to help that person be independent, be free of life decision on their own and be part of their own life. So the beauty of it is not having the goal of money, of financial piece to it, help us tremendously to be able to say the book is always open. Mm-hmm. Train the staff to the maximum level, all level of training, DDA, even unrequired training, CPR, first aid, CMT, community, every single training we say, you see it, you get it to the staff. So they are well prepared and well equipped outside of their heart being part of the job.
So we hope it doesn't, we always talk to each other constantly. We always say we don't want it to be watered down. It can't go into a multiple chain kind of franchising sort of experience. It's got to be original, and the standard is kept up because we're always at every location. And when we mention location, our members circulate in and around Howard County, Frederick, Westminster, Columbia. They're all over the place. So we follow them. So we have people that actually will turn up at a park. So if we know that we have a member and a staff member going to a park one-on-one, someone will be watching at that park.
Mm-hmm.
I was in DC last week. So
we hope Patrick and Meghan never to allow our standard to be watered down.
Mm-hmm.
There's some place for that.
It's a big fear, and it's a great question.
You kind of hinted at it earlier, the location or the choice of location. Do you guys have like a criteria that you use when you are looking for a location, or does something just jump out at you?
Okay, we have a criteria. So, and it comes from years and years of observing, the traditional program being in the backwoods somewhere or in an industrial park. We wanted to be in a town and in the center of town because that's where all the opportunities are, the opportunities to meet people, the opportunities to get jobs. So we actually do pick where we're going to be based on the opportunities that we feel our members can partake in. And it's lovely in Mount Airy because there are parks, there are shops, there's a lot of job opportunities, volunteer opportunities. But for someone who may not be able to volunteer because of their disposition, we have lots of parks and just some fun things that everyone can choose from.
Yes.
So in every town that we go, in Frederick, we're right on Market Street. So if you drop a pin, we're in the heart of the historic district in Frederick. Same in Westminster, same in Mount Airy, same in Ellicott City.
I love it. I have to come see the Ellicott City site.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're gonna love
Love
The pictures looked amazing from the grand opening.
And that was, I remember when you guys had expanded in Westminster and you were taking photos of the building and you were kind of cataloging it as you were going along. And I was paying attention to that myself.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much.
I know that the parents in our county were very excited to hear about the Ellicott City one.
Oh,
yes.
How wonderful.
I got parents, I was at an event this Saturday and I met a lot of those parents and they were like, I cannot wait to meet you by on top. They book an appointment, they want to see it, they want to come in. And that, like what Mom said, is like, it's so important to be in the out of town. I said, he gave us a very easy access to all these organizations. We don't even have to knock too hard on those doors. We are right in your face.
Yeah.
We volunteered with an organization this past week, and the owner texts me and says, "Would your guys like to make some quick bucks?" I said, sure, why not? So he texted me he wanted to move a divider from the office. We put it out on the floor, and two of the guys says, "We can do it. We got the muscle." Like, you go get the money. So that's how beautiful it is. That anybody can walk and see us. We're like an open shell.
Yeah.
The
I love
mayor
it.
walks in, the Rotary Club walks in, the Kiwanis Club walks in. They come for a cup of coffee or tea. Random parents will walk in. I'm like, when did you guys open your harvest son that is autistic? And the next thing is like, the son is part of the difference. So.
Yeah, being accessible. I think being accessible is important for our members as well, so that they know that, as Bayo said, we have the mayor of the town that just walks in and says, who can make me a cup of coffee? It's important for our members, if they are within the community, that they have that ability to open their lives and open their minds to meeting various people, that they're not just with each other, that they're actually out there in the community, and that inclusion is terribly, terribly important. It can't be underrated. Inclusion is everything. It's just a way of life that we want them to feel included. So being in the town is to that advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like we work so hard in the school system for inclusion that you don't want it to get lost after they leave just because, whatever path they choose doesn't have that opportunity. So that's great to hear.
Thank you.
So then that, of course, I feel like is going to lead into the next big question is, what has been the biggest challenge in this whole process? Or challenges.
What's the top 5? Yeah.
That's a good question. One, we take our challenges on anyway. That's what from the get-go, we've taken an option that is not there and created it and kind of wrong with it. Of course, we'll say the biggest one is I feel like we've succeeded in so many ways. Maybe dealing with the government side of things, just trying to get things going, trying to explain who we are. Because when you're out of the box, the typical system, it becomes a little explanation over and over again to most people. But so far, so good. We've blown past our own imagination. We'll sit down and say, do you even imagine this will be where it is? Do you know we don't even market the difference? We don't advertise. We don't do anything. All we do is post pictures. And that's
do us.
Yes. Facebook picture that people see, I said, is less than 10% of what we do. And but with that posting and family and friends that comes to the difference, they blow it up themselves. We have not even single-handedly said, we need to sell this organization. No.
I was going to say, I'd be afraid to see if you advertised because the way it expands now from word of mouth.
Yes, because every single time a new parent walk in, this is what they say. Oh, you know who I'm coming from the sources of parents. They told me. Or I live on the same street. I saw the kids happy every day. I want my daughter to be part of that. So is that amazing? So I would say, struggle, we just take everything with stride and say, we're not looking left, we're not looking right. We're going to give the best of every member that walk through this door. And nothing less.
And I think also from a parental standpoint, if you see, it's the fear that we have experienced as parents in going from school where you have teachers who support you, special educators who are so involved, especially like yourself, so involved in that day-to-day life, know that person inside and out, know the family, and their fear in leaving the school system. What are they going to find next? Mm-hmm. And I can only say that if you find the difference, I think that you're extremely fortunate because there are so many programs with which your child is literally a binder. The binder goes everywhere with that individual, and that person isn't known for their personality. They're known for the binder. They're just a number, and we didn't want that to be the case. That's a challenge, not for us, but trying to explain that to a parent that actually your son or your daughter will be so free. It will be an experience that's so liberating to them to trust us with that. We feel very, very fortunate that parents trust us with them.
I think it's the testament of seeing the kids doing so much and engaging in so much, not just sitting down. I always say to the parent, oh my goodness, I can't even afford all those trips. Because some days it's 100 miles away from where we are. We go to Pennsylvania. We were in D.C. twice in 1 week. One of the difference I've stand aside from other organizations that I've worked for in the past, we don't have a geofence of where we can go after because of mileage cost or gas cost. The difference is open. D.C. is part of the difference. Pennsylvania is, Virginia is, So if there is something there for us to go see or to go explore and enjoy and meet or learn from, we're going for it. And the staff knows that. Every single staff knows that. So they are constantly looking for things and exploring things for the members to enjoy and giving them the opportunity to choose which one makes sense to them. So.
And you have a variety too, which is wonderful.
That's the thing. Every single day is like trying to get people to not follow each other all day long. It's like, so we can't. Some members we have to move them aside and say, "What do you want to do? Oh, what's that person doing? Don't worry about what they're doing. You have your choices. You can pick your own menu, and that's how beautiful it is. We have 7 vans to be on the road every single day. So.
7 different directions.
7 different directions, and every staff uses their vehicle, which reimburse them for some mileage. So their own vehicle, they use it. So we're constantly, like I said, wherever you turn, you're going to see a different member or staff somewhere. Some places driving and moving. So, but it's the beauty of it is not focusing on the money has given us that freedom to do all that without turning back and say, let's do it. They want to do that. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I think
it
was so genuine. Our love for this field is so genuine. It's so exciting to be with people. And I always feel every day that when I walk into the difference, I feel like I found myself. Working in one field, as I was a classical ballet choreographer for 30 years and teaching all over the world, I feel like, yes, that was wonderful and it was a great opportunity, but I never really found my place. I feel like after 30 years of working in one job, I have found my place, and it's the happiest place to be with people who literally have no demands. They're just open souls.
They're just themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. They have no hidden agenda.
Yep.
You know, I always say to Bayo, they're closest to God because they're just such a heart that is so genuine.
Yeah, and they don't overthink. They want to give you a hug, they'll give you a hug.
Yes.
If they're pissed off, they'll let you know.
Yes.
But they, they're just their truth selves, and I completely understand where you're coming from. And I think you answered what was the most rewarding thing about it. I mean, just being around them and doing it for them.
I feel so honored because, like you said, Meghan, they have, no preconceived notions. They're open books. Their lives are open. They're so giving. And I always say, if they have a moment that that they're displeased, you'll know.
Mhm.
You'll know. And it's not them that has to learn. It's us. We need to learn.
Right.
We need to learn about that person's likes, dislikes, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, and how everybody speaks in one way or another. So if you get smacked up across the face, it's because you didn't listen.
Yeah. It's not their fault, it's mine.
It is so rewarding. I said, I always say every single day, I don't have a job. It's a lifestyle because it's what I chose and what I've chosen me and all of us that have been a part of the difference. We are blessed and we're fortunate to be in this field and to be working with these gifts. Seeing the member go from a struggle moment, being able to communicate their wants and needs and giving them tools to be able to do that effectively in their own way and using their strength, it's amazing. From taking somebody to say, Galak, I hope you keep him for more than 2 days, to that same person going out to a restaurant to eat, going to listen to music, I'll give you an example. I have a young man that doesn't do blood work. He won't do blood work because he will snap his hand all the time. And I told the parent, I says, if you trust me and you put the blood work in my area, I will do it. And he says, good luck, Bayo. Doctors keep him out because they need blood work to be able to continue the medication. And we did it again and again. He had a flu and COVID shot last week, both arms. He did it successfully. He get haircut just because now it comes to the difference. The parent did not just get happy, they bought a house closer to the difference. Just to be family of the difference. We have family buying a complete house for their kid now, just because of the difference. I said, the joy of what we do is everlasting. I woke up, sometimes I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm like smiling. I says, I can't wait to get back in. And that doesn't mean I don't get scratched or spit on, swallow somebody's spit. You probably know the person. So, because they just let it go. And I was like, there's nothing I can do. They're coming out of a van. Well, we're going to have to rock this together. But seeing them progress in life and learning skills and understanding that it is not a cookie cutter, it's not one way to learn. It's each person have their own way. Nobody's judging them. If you don't know how to measure a cup of coffee, we'll get you the coffee pot. We're going to personalize your life for you in the best way for you. Yeah. And seeing that progress every single day is the best thing a man or woman can experience in life. Seeing that genuine smile, like real love, somebody screaming, even though they couldn't talk, I miss you. Where have you been? We have a Labor Day off. I spend the entire day on FaceTime and phone call. I can't wait to be back on Monday, and text message is coming in and says, good Lord, if I don't have a chance to do this again, God take me. I'm done. Because at the end, that's the best job in the world. So we're so blessed to be part of their life.
Well, I will tell you what, Meghan, I think that's a heck of a place to end the conversation. Guys, we have been working on this for so long. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you so much. I could listen to you guys talk all day.
Thank you. I think this is the first time that we've actually shared our story.
I know I heard it when I came out to visit, but I'm glad we can get the word out because it's an amazing story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both so much.
We would love the information from this and all our other discussions to reach as many families as possible, and we need your help to do that. So please like, follow, and share out our podcast. You can find our conversations on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, and that's just naming a few. So please share and share often. You can always find the links to the information from this discussion in our show notes.
Check out our YouTube channel. We've done some of the legwork for you by curating videos of topics that revolve around transition. We have playlists, we cover guardianship, alternatives to guardianship, able accounts, and there's still more to come as we are finding those videos that we think will be valuable to use. So please be sure to subscribe there as well. And then finally, check out our website, which is full of information and links to resources around the transition process. So make sure to go to www.postsecondarytransition.com. We thank you so much for the time you spent with us and look forward to talking again soon.